Africa is one of the most incredible continents in the world. The diversity of its people, their unique identity and natural beauty with different cultures and landscapes, ranging from vast deserts to soaring mountains and endless savannas, have made the continent home to some of the most distinct species of animals and diverse people on Earth. This is why we are here every week to show you these natural beauties for your pleasure, education, and business. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Africana. I am Eva Freko Dokbesi Uduimo. Today on the program, we shall be looking at a fascinating story that has for decades shaped the lives of a people in Nigeria's southwest region. The beauty of this story is its gradual influence in Nigeria's cultural landscape after 38 years and the huge economic potential it holds for the country. Let's bring you the story of the Lisabi, the liberator of EGBA people. Several decades ago, a Yoruba tribe defied all odds against the dictatorship of the old Oyo Empire to carve a niche for themselves. This heroic feat has shaped the people's destiny to this day, culminating in the now popular Lisabi festival. The festival is a celebration of the rich cultural heritage of the EGBA people in ABEOKUTA, southwest Nigeria. It was launched 38 years ago in honor of an EGBA warrior called Lisabi, who is acclaimed to have liberated his people from the cruel leadership of the old Oyo Empire several decades ago. Lisabi was born in a village called Itoku, but lived in EGBA within the ABEOKUTA area of today's Ogun state. He was a warrior and a successful farmer who earned respect and admiration of his people because of his impeccable character and selflessness. But as a young bachelor, Lisabi's success and comfort did not stop him from acknowledging the ill treatment and oppressive actions leadership suffered by his people through the actions of tax collectors under the then Alaafin authority.
Lisabi Agbonguakala is the hero of the EGBAs, a man who led the liberation of the EGBAs from the oppression of the Oyos at the time. The Oyos, the Oyo Empire, as it was then known, it was a very powerful empire that had brought a lot of oppression to the EGBAs at the time. Women were raped, their farms were ravaged. There was quite a bit of oppression. And Lisabi had led that a fight against the Oyos at the time.
Over time, the EGBA's people's allegiance to the old Oyo Empire became their undoing, going by the tyrannical leadership of the then Alaafin of Oyo. The people's allegiance to the king moved from protection to being treated like second-class citizens, exploited through excessive tax, forced labor, and suppression of their cultural practices by the king's warrior who adopted a military approach to their dealings. Over time, the corrupt, oppressive, lavish, and reckless lifestyle by the Alaafin's warriors, funded by the wealth of the EGBA people, angered Lisabi. In their quest to continue funding this lifestyle and to further enrich their leader, the Alaafin, the warriors turned to slave trading kidnapping, and selling the people to white traders for huge ransom. Fed up with the maltreatment of his people, Lisabi planned a rebellion against the Oyo Empire.
Lisabi had done a lot by helping the different farmers at the time. They used to come together to help one particular farmer at the time to actually get their farms going and become prosperous. Now, when it was the turn of Lisabi for people to come together to help him in his own farm, he said no, that he didn't want them to help him in his own farm, that he had another thing that he requested of them. And ultimately, that was a plan to actually ensure that everybody was committed, to fighting back the Oyos, and which ultimately happened. And that led to what is EGBA land today.
Known for his strong military prowess and armed with spiritual powers as an Ifa priest, Lisabi was a rallying point for his people when they needed favors from the gods. He was also willing to help at all times, rendering services and giving favors selflessly. Lisabi used this influence among his people to organize a cooperative society designed to help each farmer boost their harvest and earn huge income to sustain themselves and enable them to meet the tax obligations. Through this initiative, he united the people and convinced them to build a strong army of able-bodied EGBA men to protect their land from the oppressive rule of the Oyo Empire. With coordinated tactics and using his military experience, Lisabi rallied his warriors and launched a surprise attack on the Alaafin's warriors at different locations within the Oyo Empire, disseminated our army, securing victory and freedom for the EGBA people. The victory and freedom planned and successfully executed by Lisabi was a feat that his people never imagined, a legacy that remains a uniting force for EGBA people to this day, as Lisabi's communal help initiative continues to inspire and has positioned them as one of the most prosperous kingdoms in Yoruba land. To honor his memory and pass this legacy to the younger generations, the people have over the past 3 decades celebrated the Lisabi Festival, which showcases the rich EGBA history, traditions, and values through dance, music, fashion, and art.
The legacy of Lisabi is that of freedom and the need to protect, of resilience, of integrity, and the need to remain very united.
The festival has become a unique platform to bring together all EGBA sons and daughters at home and all over the world to share in Lisabi's exploits with a blend of rich cultural expression, showcased through visits to various places that are of huge significance to their history. The last 38 years have seen the festival create unforgettable memories, highlighting the importance of preserving a people's heritage and celebrating the uniqueness of their culture and tradition.
And we thought that let us show what is EGBA's real creativity, with this year's celebration. In fact, it actually started from last year, and then we introduced EGBA Liganza. Okay. Now, the EGBAs became the first indigenous ethnic nationalities to establish a single brand for their people, cutting across fashion, modern art, and of course, once again, a very high moral standing in society and being able to lead.
The week-long event is becoming a global phenomenon with its beautiful display of African fashion and other fascinating aspects of the people's culture. From the beauty of EGBA Liganza, let's take you on a ride to another treasure in Kwara State that is of immense value to the country.
Owu Waterfall. Nigeria's north-central state of Kwara boasts of a significant tourist site that has for decades held a rare historical record. This is the story of Owu Waterfall, a beautiful natural reserve located in Owakajola in Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State, Nigeria. The waterfall holds an enviable record as the highest in West Africa, measuring 120 meters above the water level and gushes 330 feet down a cliff, with rocky outcrops to a pool of ice-cold water below. Across the world, waterfalls are typically produced as lakes flow into valleys in high mountains in the upper course of a river, originating over a bedrock with a minimal contributing area because of their location, which naturally flows only during rainstorms or considerable snow melt, while some waterfalls come in a variety of sizes and depths. The existence of Owu Falls is untraceable, and this has earned it a special place in history across West Africa. It is sometimes referred to as a wonder in the wilderness. This is a result of a myth regarding its response to voices when Owu is screamed. It is said that the louder you yell, the greater the intensity of the water. According to legend, Owu Falls was previously home to enormous snake and strange species of birds that terrified the people's communal life, a condition that oral history says remained until about 1940, when the snake and birds miraculously disappeared from the area. But this record has been a subject of debate over the years, with many other records suggesting that the true history and presence of Owu Waterfall are unknown. However, there are claims that Owakajola family found the waterfall. Kajola and his brother Onire lived above the hills leading to the waterfalls decades ago before Kajola, in search of potable water and fertile soil for their crops, discovered the spring through its rough terrain. Kajola was said to have built his hut near the falls to tap into the benefit of the springs, while his brother Owaonire relocated to the city border near Isonlu in what is now in Kogi State. 40 years ago, the waterfall's tourism value was brought to the limelight by Reverend Father Plefari Dieu during his missionary work for the Sudan Interior Mission, now known as the Evangelical Church of West Africa. The coolness of Owu Falls, which can be felt from a distance of 10 kilometers away, especially during the rainy season, is one of its most appealing features. Although the fall is difficult to find because of the poor state of the road, it has remained a wonderful vacation spot for tourists who like adventures. The falls provide a memorable experience for visitors willing to explore its beautiful terrain with various mix of fine side attractions.